Go right up his nose. A little too far. Man, this fan is so loud in this computer tower. You hear them upstairs, Raspy? I know, everybody's home. It's the weekend. Last weekend, our neighbors had sounded like some kids up there, probably cousins or something. It was so loud. And there's a lot of banging during the week, and that's maintenance. They're working on some stuff up there. Because the apartment wasn't very offline when the gal that was upstairs, when I moved in 3 years ago, about a year later, she moved. And I mean, within a month or two, these really nice folks were upstairs. So, I mean, that's not a whole lot of time for an apartment to be offline in a complex that literally has thousands. It's like 80 buildings or something. It was built in 4 different phases over the decades. And and they're garden apartments. So it's not like they're just stacked right on top. There's courtyards and stuff. You done? I figured he'd go back there. See, he wanted me to open the window more than that. And I did, and I told him it was cold. I didn't feel that. And he just kept giving me a hard time, poking at me. And I opened it probably about 4 times more than that, a couple more inches. And he lasted all of the 2 minutes. I turned back at him. He's like not even there. I'm like, yeah. I told you, rappers. I told you it was too cold for it to be open more. See, the heat comes. There's a at the baseboard behind the bed there. So the heat's coming up right where the little cool is coming in a little bit. It's only open because it's not windy. If it was windy, it wouldn't stay outside as much. It doesn't make any sense to some people, but to my little, to my weird ADHD brain, it made a whole lot of sense. The heat's going out more, just as much. So it's the birds will sometimes huddle, and I know there's not a lot of heat yet now, because if it was, they'd be huddled up there by now. And by the way, everybody, cats can get avian flu. They can get the bird flu, but not if they're indoors. If they're not eating raw diet or in contact with, like even just catching it. That one that has one, that'll give it. Drinking from where they drank from. So they can catch it from you too. If you've been messing with birds and you don't know if they're sick or not, and you don't wash your hands before you're messing with your cat. So basically, everybody's like starting to lose it because the government's not giving us health updates and, public service announcements. So I'm letting you know, and I've read some stuff, and then I spoke to a vet. And there's a list of stuff that aren't government sites that you can look online. And they can't do anything about sites that aren't, theirs. So just a little information if you're concerned. Keep your cats effing indoors, people. That is the safest way for a lot of things with these guys. And make sure they're up to date on rabies, too. Um, but keep the suckers inside. They're not coming into contact with cats that you don't know if they've been in contact. Maybe hunted a bird or something that might have had it. Um, so, the easiest way to keep bird flu, avian flu out of your cat's path, keep your freaking cats indoors and feed them an approved food. Don't let them outside catching his food or even playing with catching it, not eating it, because even that will do it. Or water that they must. You don't see where they are 24/7 when they're outside. They can get into a lot of shit. They're very flexible and squeezy. So it could easily come in contact if any of the birds around y'all are, you know, are infected with it. And you don't know. So just keep it. Look at that big old tum tum. Look at that tum tum. I'm acting normal. The only reason I'm talking, and it's gone longer than a short now, is because I'm trying to give you guys some information. But if I'm talking normally, he thinks I'm just talking on the phone on speakerphone because I use my phone on speakerphone since it's just me human wise here. And it's easier to understand. You don't hit the frickin' buttons while you're talking. And you can put the phone down on speaker, do something, paint or something while you're talking. Ooh, that big old tum tum. But yes, I was going to just do a bath for him. Let you guys watch a kitty bath. How raspy. But I started talking about the avian flu, and I thought, well, man, it's a good time. Might as well. Just, yeah. So, it is, like I said, it is possible. I will reiterate, it is possible. But if you keep your cats indoors and they don't, and you wash hands if you've been around birds or touched anything like that, and you keep your cats from interacting with anything that could have been, touching a bird that was affected, especially if your state itself, because state government is separate from the federal. So if your state government puts out, and most states have, by the way, a YouTube channel, go join yours, because they'll be able to give you things that are affecting your state at least. And I mean, unless he wants to shut down all mainstream news, and so that would be a suggestion. Also, your state, on YouTube I'm talking, your state, because they can't do anything there. Your state's YouTube channel. Also, some of your very, very local news channels. And the reason I say that is because if national shit is being stymied and halted and silenced, delayed, whatever, our best chances are going to be our local, our state, and then our local news. They're going to have to be working overtime right now until, the lawsuits are judged on and things are stopped and such. Because believe me, there's a succession of frickin' parade of lawsuits with all these executive orders. So they just are, you can't push them to be processed. They are being overturned one by one by one. Which is why I'm frustrated and irritated and, yeah, but I'm not, like, panicking, freaking. Because they're overturned before they can even do shit, before the next month is even around. But, yeah, as far as avian flu, as far as that kind of stuff, I would absolutely suggest going to your state, your YouTube, and your state and local, any kind of government and such. Um, also, look for any kind of, like I know AOC and a lot of others. They're not just on Instagram. They actually have um, their own channels, and it's not just for like videos of them advocating or speaking on committees and stuff like that, but they show you other things. And the more that the national, federal government is going to suppress as much as possible, the more people that have accounts like that are going to do that. And there are several. So see if your representative and your senators and stuff, if they have a site, a channel. I've noticed that Republicans don't seem to go to the YouTube chat as much as they go to the other stuff at this point. Anyway, I have noticed that more Democrat politicians are willing to start a channel there, and that's because it's not just written content. And a lot of older people, they go on there and get on a video. I mean, these people are my age and older. So, and not many people that I know in my age are all up on YouTube making videos. So, there's a good source for Democratic information. Well, information from Democrats. Because you're not going to get, if you're in a red state, they're part of the problem. They're not going to want you to know what's happening until it happens, and then they tell you it's already happened. That's part of their whole point. And I guarantee you there'll be people that voted red that still claim to be Republican that won't have any other recourse to find what's going on the floors unless they go to Democrats' channels. Because the Republicans are sure the hell not going to inform the public. Not now. Absolutely. They were balked at a lot of stuff, but they are absolutely not at this point, at this juncture, because that would be betraying their party. It's their candidate, and they won't do that. We all know that. They will not. You will not admit when you are wrong. You will just double down, triple down, quadruple down, quintuple it down. You will just keep, spinning something else. You just hate that. Well, newsflash, Republicans, humans don't like admitting when they were incorrect, when they were wrong. But we do. It's called grown-ass adults. That's what it's called. And now I have talked Raspy right into a little nappy because he's used to hearing my voice, and my voice is comfort, because if I'm not talking stressed out, which I'm not, he's like, oh, that's cool, Mom's just talking. If I was talking upset or agitated, that's another thing. Some people get, when I get venti or passionate, people will comment, are you okay? You got all bent out. Are you okay? That's not healthy. Y'all, if it wasn't okay, that cat right there, Raspy, at any of my videos, he would be right up in my face and not just walking by and rubbing on stuff. He would be like pushing on my face. He would not be leaving me alone. Trust me. There have been times that I've gotten a bit past, but he knows the difference. He would not stand for me for any duration. When I cry, when I'm upset, especially when I'm crying about my grief, my missing one of my sons that ran ahead 3 years ago, He's right up in my face. He knows when I'm more than just. Did you see him just sigh? Because he felt me getting a little tensed up. You heard it in my voice, and then you saw him sigh. I'm okay. Because my voice went back to. That's one of the reasons why I kept it under control. I didn't want to wake him up. He's happy in his semi nap. It looks like he's asleep, but he's hearing everything I'm saying. Aren't you Mr. Happy Raspies? He's my good boy. That's why I say these cats, man, Raspy and Smudge, they've given me far more than I spend $100 a month on them for supplies. Litter, food, treats, catnip spray, catnip, about $100 a month. But they're worth it. They've given me far more than that. Far more. He's my little emotion meter. If he's getting stressed out, I need to calm my shit down and manage to mellow. I've been very, very upset, and he just won't. Not even about my son, and he will just not leave me alone until I divert into brushing him or playing with him or something like that, and that gets me out of that rut right there, for whatever it was that was making me so. But he can tell when inside I'm beyond the wild. So, but yes, there is a danger with your cats and avian flu, bird flu. Really, only if you let them outside. These guys, do they look unhappy? They live indoors, strictly indoors. Does he look stressed? Have you ever seen these guys looking like they're discontented or unhappy? No, because I provide for the things that their instinctual needs. You've seen the cat scratchers here. I mean, the cat tree scratchers and stuff. And that's just in this room. I've got 2 or 3 in the living room, in the dining. Yeah, it's not like they have access. They can get up on furniture or whatever to get to windows. Not a problem for me. I've provided for them. And that's why they don't need to be outside. They've got so many toys, it's not even funny. All over the floor, in a box, in a basket. It's not even funny. I make toys all the time out of stuff and box. They are not unhappy being strictly indoors. And he wasn't after I brought him in, because he was a stray. She came into the shelter, told me, with her litter. And she was like the last one to be adopted by me. She was 4 months old when I brought her home. So, but Rappy definitely experienced being out there as much as more than his heart contented. Now look at him. He's like, no, nah, brah. Man, I'm good, man. I'm good. I like to look out there, but yeah, I'm good here. So that for any of you that say, "Oh, I could never," I have actually had to put in Tucson to put chicken wire up on the spare bedroom and leave the door open with that on, so the cats didn't kill each other. My resident cats, to bring in another cat, and I had to be for like two weeks. I had, so every time I had to get in there for sewing stuff or something, I had to, yeah. There are ways, because he would beat up a cat, and I couldn't just let him out, because it's not safe. He was a stray too, Buddy, long-haired orange cat. So it is possible to get your cat, even if they're used to being in, like, outside. you can still manage to not break them, to make them, to get them to realize themselves, yeah, nah, this is good. You just, if they want to keep going out, that's because you are not providing something that they need. Not because the cat wants to go. The cat has an instinct to do something. What is it that they do outside that they can't get in your place? Most cats, if you had everything, and that's to occupy them when you're not there or you're not or a variety of places to sleep. I put a cat video on, a Burger King video. You see his little eyes pop open. He's like looking. Oh, it's a picture of a squirrel, huh? You see a squirrel? And you guys saw his eyes pop open. I know y'all did. And making it bigger for him so he can see the squirrel. You like the squirrel? So I'm just leaving it run a little bit so you see him like on a live clip, kind of like just what I get every day. Uncensored, candid photo, candid video. Because he really doesn't know. He thinks I'm just talking because I'm talking with the phone up. Otherwise, he would have stopped being adorable. For real. They see this camera, both of them. That's why I get so little footage of Smudgy. Because as soon as she sees it, she's like, nah, brah, I'm gone. Who's your Mr. Pants? I'll show you what he's looking at. Alright, guys. I had no intention to visit this piece, like 20 minutes longer than I expected. But yeah, I just wanted to get that, I was going to make a video about cats and the bird flu just because we don't have anybody doing that nationally. So never fear. Keep your cats indoors. Feed them a cat food. And let's put it this way. If you say, well, he wants to get out, they normally get out. She's crying. She's bugging me. Do you want your cat dead? Or do you want your cat safe? That's all I'm going to ask. If you want your cats to not possibly die from this, then you're going to have the patience to listen to them screaming and yelling and carrying on and be more stubborn than they are. And I have been saying that for decades to people that say, I can't, it drives me crazy. He just keeps yelling to go out. Is he fixed? Yeah, he's fixed. Then that just means that he's got more stubbornness and more patience to wait it out than you do if you give in. It means he fleeced you. Or she fleeced you. It is possible. Trust me. I've had 2 that I took in and, oh, God, did they not shut up. The one more than the other. And it was that, oh my God, shut up. P.S. After a week or 2, I finally won. Lost part of my sanity, yes. I admit that. But I did win, and that cat lived to be like 12 and a half, something like that. So, every time the birds chirp, I've got my internet is lagging at the moment. So, peace out, guys.